Hey y'all, welcome to the channel. Today we're checking out some British New Year's Eve customs. It seems like a lot of the customs in America are the same as British customs. Now here's one that I had not heard of. First footing. It says, in the old days, the New Year started with a custom called first footing, which was supposed to bring good luck to people for the coming year. As soon as midnight had passed and January 1st had started, people used to wait behind their doors for a dark-haired person to arrive. The visitor carried a piece of coal, some bread, some money, and some greenery. These were all for good luck. The coal to make sure that the house would always be warm, the bread to make sure everyone in the house would have enough food to eat, money so that they would have enough money, and the greenery to make sure that they had a long life. The visitor would then take a pan of dust or ashes out of the house with him, thus signifying the departure of the old year. That's some very symbolic stuff. I don't think we do that in the US. I don't think. The first footing, New Year's traditions. I don't know what this is. I'm just gonna see what well, let's check it out. Who will be Fred's first footing this year? Okay. Okay.
I don't know about you, but I still waiting for my first foot.
Oh.
So who's gonna be my first foot or first footing this year? Is your first visitor to the house, the first one crossing your threshold after midnight on the first day of the year. He should be a dark-haired male to ensure good luck to the house, or this would remind people of the Vikings bringing death and destruction on their path.
Oh.
This first foot should also bring a few symbolic presents: a lump of coal and some salt, a blackburn, shortbreads, and of course, a wee dram of whiskey. So I wish you all a happy new year. Slanjiva.
Wow. That was short and informative. I enjoyed that. I like her accent. What accent was that? Was it Welsh? Something that she mentioned that I thought was interesting was that the dark hair person is better luck because it doesn't remind you of a Viking? Is that what it was? Do the Vikings have blonde hair? What else do we got? Callinig. Callinig? Wait, what was that other thing? Hogmanay. I want to look that up. Hogmanay. Hogmanay. What is Hogmanay? A guide to Scottish New Year's.
Hey everybody, Eric here from USA Kilt and Culture, and we are going to talk about Hogmanay.
Great.
Hogmanay, what is it? It is basically the Scots word for end of year, and it is the world's largest New Year's Eve celebration. In fact, back in 1996-97, the city of Edinburgh was noted by the Guinness Book of Records as having 400,000 participants. And shortly after that, they had to actually limit the number of people allowed into Center City because it was getting to be too huge.
400,000.
So that street party is really famous, but there's a lot more to this holiday than you might know. So we're going to run down some of our favorite Hogmanay traditions for you.
Great.
So a little background first. Hogmanay, in one sense or another, has been celebrated since ancient times. It inherits both Celtic fire festival traditions and traditions of the Viking winter solstice festival known as Yule. Yule was brought to the British Isles by the Vikings and before them the Anglo-Saxons, and it was basically a 12-night-long winter holiday. And that's where our term, the Yuletide or the 12 Days of Christmas, comes from. In Scotland, they tend to call it the Daft Days, and like that name implies, this was basically a huge round of partying and feasting. When the Christian church took root, the party went on. They just made a few changes, like celebrating Christ's birth and the arrival of the three wise men.
Wow.
Sadly for Scotland, the party got squelched in the 17th century after a bunch of nasty fighting known as the Wars of the Three Kingdoms. The Presbyterian Church of Scotland rose to power, and they had no use for Christmas or really anything fun like drinking, eating too much, or getting rowdy. So Christmas celebrations were outlawed.
We Meisterburgers shall hunt them down throughout the land.
In fact, you could even be arrested if you were caught baking Christmas pies.
What?
Yeah, seriously.
Wow.
Thanks, John Knox.
Yeah. The hell, man? Get off our backs.
So, Christmas as a holiday was not celebrated or recognized in Scotland until 1958. But that's where Hogmanay came in. Hogmanay was a great way to
Wait, say that
sidestep those
again?
rules. So, Christmas as a holiday was not celebrated or recognized in Scotland until 1958. But
Really?
that's where Hogmanay came in.
That's so
Hogmanay was a
recent.
great way to sidestep those rules and still have a really good blowout.
Wait,
Redding the house
I
is
gotta
similar
look that
to
up. It's an American talking about it, so I just gotta confirm this. 1958? That's amazing. I guess it was the partying. Okay. It was the partying that they didn't like. Fascinating.
redding the house. Redding the house is similar to annual spring cleaning or the ritual cleaning of the kitchen before Passover. Traditionally, during the Yuletide, no work was to be done at all, so you needed to be ready to drop all your housework before the celebrations began. Sweeping
Oh.
out the fireplace was especially symbolic and important, and there was a secret skill in reading the ashes to tell the future. Kind of like reading tea leaves. To this day, Scottish families will do a major cleanup to get ready for the New Year's.
This party's gonna go on for 12 days. So people are cleaning their house, getting everything situated so that in those 12 days, they don't have to do anything else but get sloshed and party and eat and drink. I mean, one of my favorite times of year is the time between Christmas and New Year's Day because it feels so lazy. It is like a dead week. Even if you have to work, it's kind of like a lot more relaxed than normal, and I feel like your coworkers are everybody's trying to figure out a way to have a good time and maybe celebrate a little. It's actually really fun to be around coworkers during that time. It's party time. I feel like that is kind of informally still going on, at least in American culture. And from what I see, British culture too. It's of all of the cultural differences that I've noticed through watching these videos, New Year's Eve celebrations are, I mean, almost identical. We just don't have the first footing thing. I haven't heard of that. And now this Hogmanay stuff in Scotland, I've never heard of. But you can totally see the lineage of the Celtic and Viking traditions that came to America with the English and Scottish and, Europeans in general. Fascinating.
Setting things on fire. All around the world, people feel
Let's do
drawn
it.
to the warmth and light of fire during the darkest time of the year. It reminds us that the sun will in fact return. It drives off the blues, not to mention the odd evil spirit or two. Hogmanay celebrations are rooted in ancient Celtic fire rituals, more commonly associated with spring and autumn. And a lot of creativity goes into Hogmanay fire fun. Each region of Scotland
Fire
has its
fun.
own twist on it. In Edinburgh, the opening event of Hogmanay is a spectacular torchlight procession down the Royal Mile to Holyrood Park.
Those
This
are
amazing
people?
experience
Oh my
attracts
God.
upwards of 20,000 participants and another 20,000 spectators. And
20,000.
then
So
there's the midnight
40,000.
fireworks
Wow.
show. If you think watching a ball of strobe lights drop in Times Square is pretty awesome, why don't you try this?
Jeez. Wow. It's so bright it overexposed their camera. Wow.
Auld Lang Syne.
Amazing. Yeah, he said 400,000 people showed up in Edinburgh that one time. That's crazy. I'm not sure how many people show up every year in New York. Also, when I lived in New York, all of the local New Yorkers told me the last place that you want to be on New Year's Eve is Times Square because there's no bathrooms. When you get in a crowd like that, you get your spot. You're there for hours. There's nowhere to go to the bathroom. So people bring like mobile bathroom stuff to like in a crowd you're trying to pee. I would be so pee shy around thousands of people. I don't know if I could do it. What if you get hungry? You got to bring food with you, snacks, and it's not safe. I mean, someone could stab you, and the cops can't get to, like, it's just madness, chaos. It's really unsafe. Okay, anyway, back to Scotland.
Auld Lang Syne. Perhaps the most famous and heartwarming Hogmanay tradition is the singing of Auld Lang Syne. This timeless song was originally a poem written by Robert Burns, based on a few lines of a traditional tune he heard sung by an old villager he knew. As the clock strikes midnight on New Year's Eve, the singing begins. Singers form a circle, cross their arms, and hold hands. Now, Auld Lang Syne is more than just a quaint ditty. It reminds us that as time passes, only true friendship and empathy for our fellow man endures. That's what makes life worth
That's a
living,
good
whatever
message.
may come.
Yeah, that is a wonderful message. Only true friendship and empathy towards humans endures. Oh, I love that. I feel like every New Year's Eve I tell myself that I don't care, that it's just another day. But every time midnight comes and you hear that song, I get emotional. It touches me. There's something really beautiful about it. And it's interesting because I feel like I've almost been programmed to feel that way whenever I hear that song. It's like as soon as it begins, it's like I've woken up from a dream and I think, oh yeah, it's another year. Oh yeah, this is a big deal. Another year's passed. Oh yeah. Oh my God. I'm getting older. I'm gonna die soon. It becomes this weird mind thing for, a few minutes and then I keep drinking and I soon forget about that. But it is kind of special to mark the occasion, you know? You feel the lineage of that tradition in the moment that the song hits me. Meh. Okay, look, first footing. We already know about this, y'all.
First footing. Immediately after midnight, the practice of first footing can begin. Another ancient custom, first footing involves being the first person to cross the threshold of a friend or a neighbor's home. It's important because the first foot sets the luck of the household for the coming year. One old version of the custom involves the man leaving the house by the back door just before midnight on New Year's Eve. Then he runs around to the front of the house and at the stroke of midnight knocks on the front door. By doing
Oh,
this, he represents the old luck leaving and the new luck coming in. Symbolic gifts such as salt, coal, shortbread, whiskey, and black bun fruitcake are presented to the hosts. Each gift represents a different kind of good luck. In return, the householder offers gifts of food and drink to the first footer and his friends. Nowadays, first footing celebrations can go on well into the dawn hours. And since Hogmanay is officially a 3-day holiday, the parties and the visiting
3
just kind of roll
days.
on and on and on. It's really a great time to reconnect with the people who really matter to you.
So he mentioned that the person leaves from the back door and then after midnight comes to the front door, like right away. But the lady at the beginning of this that we checked out, she was just waiting. It was like the next day, it was daylight out. I guess she was just waiting for someone to show up. She didn't have it planned out. Seems like kind of a lot to arrange whenever you're partying, like raving downtown. You're out
Saining. Now we come to the final major custom of Hogmanay, saining. This
saining.
word means protecting or blessing in the Scots dialect. It's an ancient custom that comes from the Highlands. Early on New Year's Day, householders will drink a cup of magic water. What's magic about it? Well, it's basically water that's been drawn from what's called a dead and living ford. That is to say, a river ford that is routinely crossed by both the living and the dead. This usually
What?
means a stream crossing on the way to a churchyard. After you drink some of the water, the rest is sprinkled around each room of the house, on the beds, and even on all the people who live there. If you happen to have farm
Hmm,
animals, you're going to sprinkle them too, because they deserve a blessing too, right?
sure.
After the sprinkling, the house is sealed up tight, and juniper branches are set on fire. The lady of the house
What?
then carries them through each room, letting the smoke fumigate the entire building. You know you've done a good job when
Huh.
everyone is sneezing and coughing like crazy. Then all the doors and windows are flung wide open to let in the cold, fresh air of the new year. The lady of the house then offers a restorative from the whiskey bottle, and everyone sits down to a very pleasant New Year's breakfast.
Well, that sounds
Clearly,
fun. Oh,
Hogmanay is a
breakfast.
complex and rich holiday. It captures in one celebration so much of what it is to be Scottish. So we hope you'll consider embracing some of these traditions this year. Don the kilt, pour a dram for yourself, relish the pure joy of the Celtic soul in the dark of winter. From all of us at
Wow.
USA Kilts, happy Hogmanay.
All right. Some really fascinating traditions. That last one, Saining, sounds kind of fun. I love at the end of this one, you get drunk for breakfast. Lighting up the junipers seems a little dangerous just because it's fire and the embers could spread. That's bad luck. But I guess it smells horrendous enough to get any evil spirits out of your house. I might try Saining this New Year's Day. I don't have any juniper, but I have like a candle. I don't have any whiskey, but I could get some. Is vodka okay? What about a White Claw? Go through these traditions again. Redding the house. So, before the party starts, you clean the whole house. That's a great feeling. Get it all out of the way because you're going to be partying for 12 days. Then you set things on fire. You just walk through towns with fire at night with torches, slinging it around like this guy wearing a kilt, catching your scrotum hairs on fire. Look at these folks. They're hunting down Frankenstein. And when the night comes, you sing that song, gets everybody emotional. You've had a few drinks. You start thinking about your whole life and your own mortality and your connection to the human race. And then you pass out. And the next day, some dark-haired guy shows up at your house with some coal and some salt and some bread and some alcohol, and you party a little more. And then to get rid of all that evil shit you did over the holiday. And then the next morning, so you drink a cup of magic water that is from a river that flows by a church where dead people and live people cross it. Then you sprinkle it around your bed. You put it on all your animals, right? Oh, and on the people. So you drink the magic water from a river that flows by a church. You drink some, you put it on yourself, you put it on everybody who lives in your house, you sprinkle it on the floor in every room, on your bed, you put it on all your animals. Then you close all the windows, you set some juniper branches on fire, you fill the house up with smoke, then you open the windows and let the smoke out. You gotta be a lady. Men can't do this. What if no ladies live in the house? You're screwed. Where would I get magic water in Los Angeles? Maybe from a gutter? I don't know. I'm gonna have to work on the magic water, but I know where to get the whiskey. Thank y'all for thank y'all for coming on this journey with me. I just want to say, these last few months making this channel have been really fun. I've learned a lot. I feel a connection with people in Great Britain and around the world. It's been really great. And I hope you all have a wonderful new year. I hope things go well. You know, when things don't go well, ask for help. There are people out there, people all around who want to give you love and help you out. So don't be afraid to ask for help and try to be kind to each other, right? I know that's a cliched thing to say, but you know, we need a little brotherhood, a little personhood all around the world these days. And I love you all and thank you for watching and I'll see you next time. Later. Happy New Year. Happy Hogmanay.